Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today I want to talk about one of the best contemporary watchmakers that we have. Her name is Carole Casapi-Forestier. It's a French name, so I probably mispronounced it. And she's currently the movements director at Tag Heuer in Switzerland. Now, what I want to talk about today are some of the watches and some of mainly the movements. She was a movements director at Cartier. And so how these movements came about and how they influenced other kinds of things is what I want to talk about today. The big thing is, though, I think the important thing is to realize that a lot of people, they see Cartier and they say, oh, those are, they have cheap movements in them, the ETAs or something like that. And, but that's changed a whole lot. So let's take a look at these. And this might be a way to find a really much better watch than you realize. Now, the first one that came out with a caliber that was Cartier is the Drive de Cartier, and it's called a 1904 PSMC. Okay, it's automatic. It's got a reserve of 48 hours. It has 4 hertz, 28,800. It's got a date window at 3 o'clock, and then hour, minutes, and seconds. It's again, we're not talking about a very complicated watch. Price, and this is the price from the Cartier site, is $6,800. And there's the front and the back. Now this is, we'll see this movement, which was developed during the time that Casapi was the head of movements at Cartier, has a lot more than that. So we'll see some of these things. So that's the first one. Not somebody else's movement, to put it that way. Now, this next one is the Rotonde de Cartier, time, day, night. This one has a movement called the 1904. Again, the 1904 is a base movement, and it's called the FUMC. And it's got the large date up there at 12 o'clock. It has a retrograde second, which is unusual, I think, in most watches. I have a watch with retrograde second, but I don't see a lot of them. Time zone at 10 o'clock, day-night indicator at 3:30. You can see the little sun there. And small seconds at 6 o'clock. It's an interesting watch, but here again, you have something that is not just nothing, I'll put it that way. A lot of watches they'll have their own base movement, and then they'll put something on top of it to make it do whatever they want to do. These are all by ones that have been done in the movement development at Cartier. Now this one is if you're the boss or the head of the movements, you get to work on what you want to. And Casapi enjoyed working on the more complex ones. Now they had a name for them. They had sort of 2 levels. One was sort of like high horology, and the other one was even higher than that at Cartier. And this one is Rotonde de Cartier, basically astro calendar. Now, basically, this is a perpetual calendar, but the way it's set up is very interesting. Around the outer ring are the days of the month. The inner ring is the names of the month. The inner ring after that is the days of the week, and then right in the middle is a tourbillon. And this particular one is Calibre 9459 MC. So this is one of the other ones that was developed by Casapi. One of the big things about this one, rather than using levers, the whole thing is with gears. And this gives it a lot more stability. than one with that has a lot of levers in it. Now, one of the classic watches from Cartier is the Tank, and this is called the Tank MC. This is the blue dial one. It's basically the 1904 movement again, the PSMC movement, and it's just put into a tank-shaped watch. It's not a shape movement. You just pop it in there, but that's one of the things that these movements that were developed under Casapi's leadership included. Now, this next one, this is the Drive de Cartier Flying Tourbillon. And you have, if you look at the middle of it, and about 2 o'clock, where the little red line is pointing to, you'll see there's a C. And they put that in on their tourbillons. Yeah, maybe it's to advertise it. Now, these are expensive. This one's $74,000. Some of the other ones we're going to look at are just like out of this world expensive. But this is another one that Casapi developed for their tip top. Now, the interesting thing about this, it has a Geneva seal, and the watches at Cartier are made primarily at La Chaux-de-Fonds. In order to have the Geneva seal, they have to be made in the canton of Geneva. And right in the middle of Geneva, Cartier has a development or a workshop or something. And that's where this one was developed, and that's why they had the Geneva seal. And again, here again you can see the tourbillon with the big C on there. Now this one is one that's sort of interesting. This is another one by Casapi called the Cartier Calibre 9981 MC. And here are two. One's the Clé de Cartier, the one on top. The one on the bottom is Rotonde de Cartier. And the mysterious hours is something, if you go back and you look in some of the Cartier watches early on, you'll see the mysterious dials of the mysterious watches. They have I think a name is called the Mysterious Hours. Okay, so what? Well, what Casapi did was to dig up those old ones and then create movements on our own. This one is the 9981 movement for that, and it's on these two models, but each model has a lot of different variations to it. So there are a lot of models with the mysterious hour on it. Now, here, these two are two more examples. The Santos Dumont. Here's a skeletonized version. This was done under her directorship. And then the Rotonde de Cartier Mysterious Tourbillon. All right, so here you have the mysterious, I guess, movement. It's mysterious hours again, but this time there's a tourbillon right in the middle of it. I mean, these movements are really incredible, and this is why I think in 2012 she won the Best Watchmaker of the year. I mean, that's a huge thing to be that one. Some of the other ones, I think, Jean-Marc Viderec and some others like that. F.P. Journe may have got it at one time, but I mean, it's a huge honor, and not very many people have it. Now, this final one that I want to take a look at, and this is important because when we look at the movements at Cartier, we find that a lot of different movements are based on the 1904 PSMC. And this maybe gets into it a little more. Cartier is owned by the Richemont Group. And the Richemont Group owns a number of other different watch companies. And then they also have something, it's called Horlogerie Valfleury. And that's her movement manufacturer. And so apparently what they did, and this part I'm just a little flunky, Cartier has a huge movement workshops. I mean, they really got a place where you can make movements. You can design them as well as manufacture them. But the Val Fouillet, I think, is to, if something is developed in one of the companies that they own, they want to be able to let it be used elsewhere. And this particular one, the 1904 PSMC, is also used as the Piaget Calibre 110P or 1110P, and also the Vacheron Constantin Calibre 1326. It's on one of their entry-level watches. What's it called? I think it's the 56 line of watches, but it's the entry level. This is sort of interesting. On the entry level, just the automatic version, it doesn't have the Geneva seal. After that, they do. Now, Vacheron Constantin says, well, yeah, that's true, but then we do a whole bunch of other stuff to this movement so that it sort of comes up to the quality of Vacheron Constantin. Okay, well, the point that I guess I'm trying to make here is that if you can trace some of these movements to different places, even within Cartier, you have the 1904 CHMC, the 1904 FUMC, and the 9422 MC. Now, those are three watch movements that come out of the 1904, and then anything that follows after that, they have it with a base. But anyway, this is the point that, at one time, I don't think a lot of people, and a lot of people still don't, take Cartier as a very serious watchmaker because they don't make their own movements. That hasn't been true for quite a while now, and the quality is really excellent. And the next thing that we're going to be waiting for, let's see what comes out of Tag Heuer with Kasapi at the head of it. Let's hear what you have to say about that. I'd be very interested, and also any suggestions or experiences you have with any of these movements. And until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection. And if you'd like, this is an invitation to subscribe. Take care.